looking back on what has been very interesting nights in Germany in the company of John Arne Riise and Ruud Gullit. Final. John Arne Riise and Ruud Gullit with me tonight, watching the holders, Real Madrid against Bayern Munich. Ruud, for you, is that a fair scoreline, or Bayern Munich missed a trick here?
I think the first half, Bayern had some opportunities, but then in the second half, they could play another hour and they would never score a goal. They were poor, there was no ideas, only the Ribéry had a good game in the second half. First half, so-so. But it was after a while it became boring almost, and also the ease, especially that Real Madrid cope with all the high balls in the center, was quite convincing from the Real Madrid side.
Surprised at the lack of intensity of that Bayern Munich side?
Yeah, because what people know and remember about Bayern is that they just keeps going and attacking and playing quick football. Madrid succeeded with the tactics. They calmed the game down. Things went slow. They were happy with 1-0 lose or even a 1-1 draw. They didn't rush anything. So tactically, Madrid did a perfect game, and they won at the end as well. So, I mean, for them it was a great game. But no.
And at least Vasquez did it, and you see the difference. They couldn't get a decent cross in with Lewandowski, Müller up front. And I think that Varane and Ramos, they did a great job there.
If you see Ramos today, how many shots he blocked today.
Yeah.
And he was in the right position so many times.
Yeah.
And that was what they missed against Juventus in the last round.
Yeah.
And he's so important to this team.
It's just a disappointment that Bayern haven't put up a better show. And
I found them technical poor. Get the ball, get around play. They have it in midfield, but they couldn't do it. And I think it was for Real easy to play it. And the only thing they did was just make sure they get no crosses in. They did that perfectly. Wanted to go to the middle. There was no space in there. And
it was sloppy from Bayern. It was sloppy. I mean, even the 5-meter passes or control was so sloppy. There was no movements. And it was weird for me and us to look at that game and thinking this is Bayern we're looking at in the semi-final, because they play at home. They should have been all over Madrid and pushing them, but there was nothing.
No.
It's funny how sort of Real Madrid have got the edge of them. Look, last 6 games, Real Madrid have won every single one of them in the knockout stages of the Champions League. Again, and goals for 15, goals against 5. Well, they took the lead, remember, tonight. I want to show you again, you may have seen it at half-time, but I think it's worth showing again just why Marcelo was out of position for that goal. We've seen how good he is going forward. He scores the equalising goal. So just this is part of the attack, Real Madrid, going into the goal that Bayern Munich score. It goes out of play over the far side, header from Ronaldo, over there, and there you can see, right, this is Marcelo here, okay? So you can follow him as he chases the ball here. All right, so he is, for some reason, just interested in following the ball. All right, and then if you see it from this angle, he is still here. Okay, so he's miles behind the ball. And you play it on, and then you can see how far behind the play he is, and how he is trying to catch up with play. And when a ball goes through there and Kimmich can go through, well, we'll get a bigger arrow than that there into this huge space, because that is where Marcelo is, and he's well out of play. Look, in the end, he's helped Real Madrid in so many ways, but he's still tracking back, and then Kimmich has all that space in which to score. And then here's his cross, or his shot, whichever you prefer.
The thing is that his position has been taken by somebody else.
Yes.
I don't know who was with this guy. Was it Kroos? And I think he just switched off.
But
and even if that happened, they were with the right people behind the ball, but they just let him go.
It's not Marcelo's fault, because
not really.
He's allowed to go forward, and there's somebody else should pick his position. But it's the reaction when the ball goes out. Marcelo's reaction should be, I got to get back.
Exactly, but he doesn't do that. Look, he's still...
And you see in the video there, when he's on his way back, he's jogging
Yeah.
and almost stopping up halfway to, I can't do this, because he sees somebody else in his position. But his reaction should be sprint back and try to get it back quick as possible. It's not his fault, because somebody else should have been there and covered for him.
It should. And therefore, you know, it is funny because you spotted it. He was busy with that ball.
He was. He just playing with him.
He knew there's a lot of more balls in there.
Well, exactly.
Part of total football.
Yeah.
And nowadays, everybody does it. Total football means just, if I go bomb forward as a left back, I don't want you to sprint 50 yards back in order to get the ball.
We had in Liverpool.
You stay there, somebody else takes your place.
You had someone who was going to cover you if you
somebody
went
else takes your
forward.
place.
When you played with people for a few years, like I did,
Yeah.
I knew I could go forward, and either Sami Hyypiä or Daniel Agger could cover for me, or Xavi Alonso or Steven Gerrard. I knew that gave me the freedom to go forward, and if I lost the ball or we lost the ball, I knew there was someone there, but still, I had to get back as quick as possible and sprint back and try to take over position. But I knew I can go now because there will be someone behind me.
Yeah, if you can't do that, you know, if nobody takes your position over, then you can't go forward. That the risk is too big. So that is what you want in rotation in the team. And I think that Kroos didn't do a great job there because he was pointing, he's coming, and he said, okay, now I can let him go. No.
You can see on Marcelo's, when he's equal as well, his reaction when he celebrated. I think he knew that I was in my position and I could have done better for the Bayern goal, but then he scored the 1-1, so you know he made up for it. But no, it's not Marcelo's fault, because in today's football, players are smart enough to understand if he goes, I got to cover.
Yeah. Look, this was Bayern Munich's first big test of the season, we could say. It was certainly their biggest game. Clearly, a semi-final of the Champions League. They failed tonight. How much has this got to do with the quality of the Bundesliga?
No, Bayern Munich is a good team. John already said it. He was disappointed also with them. We expected more of them. We saw them in the previous matches.
You're talking technically, Ruud. That you're saying they haven't got. I know.
That's the point.
How can the winner of the Bundesliga not be technically a good side?
I was surprised as well. I thought they could match them up. You know, John was also saying, it's Germans. They go on, they keep on going. And they couldn't do it. It was like if they could play another hour, nothing.
Sometimes you have that day, you know. Even though you're so excited for the game, before the game, you're so much energy. Sometimes you just have that day. And I had Felix Magath as a coach for Fulham. And he's German by Big Ma. I mean, he's German.
He ran you.
He ran you. The way the Germans train and focus on physical training and running and fitness is incredible. But that's what you can lack the technical stuff, but you shouldn't lack the power and the energy. And that was disappointing me today with Bayern, because I mean, it's a semi-final. At least run and fight for the ball. You can miss a pass, and that's normal, but run, fight.
It's like yesterday, Liverpool, how much they run. We said to them, you can't do that for 90 minutes, you can't. So what we appreciate yesterday was the hard pressing of Liverpool when they didn't have the ball. But what I appreciate also, that even in the last 50 minutes, Roma was able to play and get back in the game. And I thought that today, Munich had nothing could say to me, look, you could get him back in the game. Nothing. I think what summed up was the last chance of Lewandowski.
Yeah.
He wanted to chip the goalkeeper, and he couldn't. He missed the ball completely, and it was like, what is this, you know?
But we got to be careful, because now they're going away and need to score in goals. And
maybe we're going to see a different Bayern Munich.
They took them to extra time last time. You know, maybe it is.
And Juve scored 3 goals against Madrid away last time. So I mean, they're still in the game, of course. But it's disappointing today, in today's game, what they did. But I'm sure the coach and everybody else will pick them up, and they'll be ready for next week without a doubt. But it's like, there's so much more they need to step up to even have a good fight, because Madrid, with the fans, is going to be an incredible atmosphere at that game. And but anything can happen, and I look forward to that game.
Yeah. This game, of course, you'll be able to see here on beIN Sports. Those semi-sides are still left in the competition, don't they?
If you see their performance, they look almost, favourite. But the Italians still think it's not over. They've done it with Barcelona. So the good thing is that Liverpool has to go there if it is 0-0. They have to be focused. I think also Salah will not play in the weekend. I think he will start on the bench. If they need him, he comes in and just focus on that game.
No, I agree with you that Liverpool have been the better side of the 4 teams left. The football they play, the intensity they play in. But in football, we know one game can totally change in the next game. You know, we can never. Yeah. It's hard to keep the same pace going for so long. And if they go to a final, everything is 50-50 and it's all square.
The thing is with Real Madrid is that they can play their football under pressure as well. They have in midfield players who can do that. Even put pressure, you're going to make fouls. You're not allowed to do that. And then all of a sudden you can't press them anymore. And I think that in parts yesterday, first 20 minutes, Roma could do the same. Even though they wanted to do pressure, then goal and all of a sudden on fire. They lost the plot. So therefore, it's going to be interesting if they go to the final.
Madrid knows how to win. You know, they've done it so many times before. And you can see today, they knew what Bayern was going to do. And they changed the tactics to play, I call it a boring game, just to get a good result to take home. So, I mean...
It's a quality, what you say. Yeah?
Exactly.
Good teams have that quality because you know that Real Madrid always wants to play open football and everything, but they can also do this.
Which they did tonight. Tomorrow night, it is the Europa League semi-finals. Arsenal against Atletico Madrid. Of course, the news this week that Arsene Wenger will not be staying beyond the end of this season. News that came out not particularly at the right time for Wenger.